What are you gonna do?
I'm probably so my stepmom told the boss and the executive boss in Santa Point. She wants me to work.
So you gotta do that because you're a minor.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be the cleaning person, the stocking person, and the cashier.
Sounds good. Is that first job ever?
Yep.
Congratulations. That job will definitely make you want to get your education. Sure.
I'm getting the minimum wage, which is pretty good.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. Good deal.
He does both, but I think.
Oh my God. That was not at all.
Karina, are you really there? Karina, can you hear me? You need to talk to me privately about your grades if you want a chance to pass. Is there any chance that you'd have time to talk to me at some point today or come to school? Because I'm telling you, your only really chance to pass is to talk to me either privately in Zoom about your grade or at school. Because without that, I'm not thinking there's much of a chance to pass. So if you could figure a time to talk with me privately at Zoom or maybe come to school and talk to me, then you'll have a chance of passing. But pretty much, Karina, if you don't talk to me about your grade, it's going to be hard for you to pass. So don't say I didn't warn you. I'm trying to warn you now, Karina. You have to talk to me about your grade. All right. So I'm just putting that out there. Don't say I didn't tell you. I'm telling you. You talk to me, got a chance of passing. You don't talk to me, pretty much no chance of passing. Pretty much as black and white as that. Couldn't be any more black and white. And then for all my others, since this is video recorded, those of you who are not passing, your only chance really of passing is talking to me about your grade and what you can do. All right, here's your first row missing. Look how fast I can crank out those. So fast. All right. Due to the nature of people being lawyers and, some people in this world, they don't want to do the work, but they want to try to manipulate the system and try to tweak the rules so they could get by without doing the work. You don't want to be one of those people. So for me to get rid of my lawyer, or not to get rid of my lawyers, but to combat my lawyers here, again, let me go over this information with you. Probably go over this every day until the day of the final. All right, your final exam is going to be the 7th of June. This is the last day to turn in makeup work. I will not take makeup work after you've taken the test. Don't say I didn't warn you. When you're done with the test and it's graded, I will no longer take makeup work. You have to get the makeup work before you start taking the test to show me you're real serious about it. Makeup work after the test is, in my eyes, just someone groveling for points. And that's no respect for me. And then know that on this day, the next day that we're meeting, I think this is Wednesday. For some of you, this will be the last day you're in my classroom for the rest of your life. Woo, right? But this day, hopefully, a lot of you will be done. And you don't even have to come to school. And you could Zoom for like a millisecond and be my president. And have the rest of your day, woo, take a nap. Go. Or if on this day your computer exploded or something, or some meteor hit your house, then on this day you'll be able to take the final. Right? All right, now here's a big thing. On this day, there's two kinds of people. There's the happy people who got the good grade that they deserve and have me give them a printout and tell their parents how awesome they are. Woo! Or the unhappy people, the people who didn't do makeup work to get their grade as high as possible going into the test. And then the test has crushed them. Or people who, I don't know, for some reason their grade was solid, but they choked on the benchmark, making me look bad. Those people, again, are going to be coming at me, asking me what to do, and I'm going to keep saying, you need to go back in time and go back and do better on that test. That's the only thing you can do. So pretty much impossible. And I'm going to be a stone wall. You don't want to see my stone wall as you're crying. I will be even harder and harder. As you cry, I will just strengthen. Does that make sense? So you don't want to be there. You guys know you're smart enough to ace my final. By the time you take my final, you will have seen the exact final in different forms, probably 8, 9 versions of it. So by the time you take the final, you'll be, oh my God, I've seen this problem 10 times. You'll ace it, right? And you'll have the best benchmark score in math that probably you'll ever have, because the rest of your years here at school, teachers probably aren't going to prepare you. All right. So my little spiel's done. Today it's going to be probably the last of the big grind days. I'm going to give you a version of the test here. I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to point out some things that you need to know. I'm going to grade it. I'm going to pair you up with someone who do better. And then I'm with you two. For the points today, you're going to be doing a flip grade explaining your whole test. I'll talk about that. But right here, these are the kind of things you need to do when you're taking this practice test that I'm going to give you right now. And for some of you, if you do better on this, I will replace that midterm score that maybe is holding some of you down. All right, but here we go. What you need to know to ace today's version of the test and replace maybe your midterm quiz that was kind of low. On this problem right here, the rotation one, the key to this one is to do the reflections first. Bust out those reflections either over the X or over the Y. And then from there, then see, okay, I've done the reflection. Then see, am I turning to the right like a clock, or am I spinning to the left like a counter clock? Again, do the reflection first. And then once you get it there, then you can see clearly I'm turning to the left or I'm turning clockwise to the right. But do the reflection first. Know where you're moving from. Don't do that from here. All right, the next problem, or two. The key to this one today, for those of you listening, is to read carefully. Some of these, I say a right triangle with a right angle, that's not enough. But some of these, I threw in some more information like a right angle and a hypotenuse in the leg. Ding, ding, that would be enough. And then be careful on this one. I talk about how a rigid motion always takes a triangle or whatever to another spot. But I changed one. I wrote one in here. A rigid motion does not carry. So that would be enough. So read carefully. A lot of you don't even read what I put on paper. And then on this, the key in this one is if they give you 3 sides, it's good. If they give you a couple sides or a couple angles, not enough, bad. Over here on this bad boy, You need to memorize all the main theorems, SAS, ASA, AAS, SAS. You need to know the bad ones. You need to memorize them. And then for these kind of movements, you need to know that rotation is the only good one. All right, keep going. I'm trying to help you out. This guy right here, when you get to problem number 4, remember the key is this equation tells you where you're starting. And then that red line is where you're going to. So if I'm starting here, going up. This bad boy right here. This one, you gotta get the slope for Mia by just looking at that number right there. You gotta get the slope for Carmen by doing a little bit more work, finding the rate of change yourself, changing Y over changing X. And then for this problem, it's all about me giving you weak numbers. This is X. To plug into Mia's equation or plug into Carmen's equation. All right, and then the last one. The key to this one is when I give you the 2 points to find point D, you could either replicate this pattern how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, and do it that way. 1, 2, 3, maybe a little bit off, that's okay. Or you could repeat the pattern this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to get that point. Make sure on this one, once you get that point, you write it right. I'm marking you off if you don't write it right. And then on this one, you got to bust out 4 distances. Remember, this problem, the same one over and over. The key is these first 2 points, you got to double negative when you're subtracting. When you're doing these down here, there ain't no double negative. And then on these, you got to know anytime you square something, never negative. Never, never negative. Always positive. Always positive. And then on this, I'm still facing people who try to times these 2 and get 16 right there. I'm like, oh, it makes me want to find your 6th grade teacher and punch him in the face. Did I make a mistake? Yeah. The final exam is closed note. I know that people in Zoomland, I don't know what they're doing. I know that's not fair to you guys, but I don't know what else to do. The world you live in is a completely unfair place. So you can't think I'm going to try to make everything fair. This is like the real world, not fair. So the people in Zoomland, I know they might be using their notes on the final, but you guys are not. But one thing I'm going to do is for the people Zooming the final, their scores will no way affect your curve. Does that make sense? Only you people here, your score will affect you people here. There's someone in Zoomland cheating and acing, their score won't affect your curve score. Yeah, push.
So all these problems are like similar that are going to be on the final.
Exactly. Yep. I'm telling you, you guys will be so prepared that my final will be the easiest final for all of you. And then for you guys, we're studying. So I know a lot of you aren't going to study at all, but you will have studied already for my final. You've studied. And people who study a little bit above, oh man, they're just going to dominate. For this, you're welcome to use your notes. I have calculators for you. If you do real good on this, I promise you I will replace that midterm score that maybe is holding your grade down. That's some of you maybe didn't make up, or maybe didn't even take. So if you do a good job on this, you'll be rewarded. I'll replace the midterm score. You'll be amazed how much the grade will improve if I do that. So you'll have a great grade going into the final. Yeah, this is open note right here. Purely open note. Calculator sensitive. Please don't use your phone calculators. I have enough where it won't be too long before you get one. I'm going to have you guys share them maybe. You guys are priceless. I would have your parents invest in you and buy your own little calculator. Because you guys are worth it. You'll use this all the way through college, or some of you don't do college. Yeah. I got plenty. Calculators? You want any calculators? Alright, make sure you read those questions carefully. because one little slip up, you miss the whole problem. So those are intense because you gotta just get all the answers right to get one problem correct. All right, I'm gonna sit down and take this with you so I can make a key. As soon as you're done, get this to me. I'm gonna grade it as quick as I can myself. And then I hope if I pair you up with someone, I'm hoping one person in that pairing has a good cell phone. Because you want to do your flickers on a cell phone. That's the best way. The most clear and precise. All right, good luck. I'm not going to rush you, but I can't give you all period. You're going to have a limited amount of time here, but you can do it. I have faith in you.